I have it on, but not on me. Okay, well, I've graduated to a long sleeve sweater. If that doesn't tell you that it's getting a little chillier out here. I like this microphone Josh got, but it seems to have problems hooking onto things. So, there we go. Hopefully y'all can hear me, can see the fall leaves are turning, and we're out here crocheting, taking a break from everything. The sun's going down. I don't know what temperature it is, but we'll figure that out in a minute. Well, I'm kind of getting set up here. Hi, Wanda. How are you? I'm really going to ask people to do a favor. I continue to say, and I will continue to say, hopefully I brought my mouse out here, that I know numbers don't matter. Hi, Ainfield. And I'm trying to really remember that. But at the same time, I'm trying not to get discouraged, because that's not a good place to be. But I'm doing good. But if anybody can help share us out, we were sitting at the 1940. I don't know what YouTube did. We were at 1954 at one point, about 4 or 5 days ago, and 15 people just they're just gone, which saddens me because I don't like that. But again, I got layers on, guys, today because it's getting chillier. So it's about building the community. It's not about building the numbers, but if you can share us out, I would really appreciate that. Just please check and make sure that your connection hasn't kind of fallen off. We know how YouTube kind of goes in and cleans house, and maybe when you cleaned house, hopefully y'all can hear me. Maybe when they cleaned house, they unsubscribed you for some reason. But just go ahead and check those for us, both places, Blessings Through Connection and Blessed to Crochet. We will greatly, greatly appreciate it. Hi, Jeffrey. Again, you can put hashtag blessed in the chat if you'd like people to connect with your channel. But I would really appreciate that. If you can share us out, we would really appreciate that too. We are just trying to get to that 2K by the end of the year. To me, that's going to be my Christmas present. And I would really appreciate it. So just check and make sure you're still connected to Blessed to Crochet. Make sure you're connected to Blessings Through Connection. We're going to do one tomorrow. Unfortunately, my computer kind of took a little detour, and we are having to get it repaired. It's under warranty, under the manufacturer, not under warranty, because it's not quite a year yet. So if you could just make, we're going to be doing Blessings Through Connection, but it's going to be a little bit where we're just going to kind of have to do it by my phone. So we're going to try to do one tomorrow. We'll just be looking at the pond, but still it's about, with Blessings Through Connection, it's all about making those connections and coming in and making sure that you're making those connections. So when that computer gets back up and running, we'll get back to normal kind of lives with Blessing Through Connection. But I would appreciate it. And I'm just kind of doing some housekeeping stuff. I don't know what it is, YouTube. I put a thumbnail on, and then when I go live, the thumbnail just disappears. I don't know where it goes. It just disappears. Oh, and I released a video. It is the cutest. I have to admit, it is super, super cute. And it is about friendships. And so I finished that last night. And it's going to be posted tonight for everybody. It's there for the members, so the members can see it. And don't know what happened to me. I disappeared. So the members can see it, but it will be out at 8 o'clock, and it's really cute. And I figured out, friendships come in all different shapes and sizes. So I picked some friendships that are, pretty constant, normal friendships, and then some really cute ones. So anyway, that'll be coming out later today. I don't know what happened to my picture. I did something. But when I go online, I don't know what it does. Takes the picture, the thumbnail, and then it just makes me disappear. I don't know what it is about it. I've stopped trying to understand YouTube. YouTube does not make it easy to understand. I'm just thankful to come out here and take a break and crochet with you all a little bit and talk and chit chat and let you grow those connections. I'm just happy to kind of do that. Trying to understand YouTube. So, but you can do hashtag blessed in the chat for people to connect with your channel. Hi, Ainfield, too. Welcome on in. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Like I said, I'm trying not to get discouraged. Just like I don't know where it went to. It was like, okay, where did it all go to? Putting my thumbnail back on. I don't know what it is. I go on YouTube. It tells me, and the thumbnail's there. And then the minute I go live, they take the thumbnail away, and I have to redo it again. I don't understand it. I do not understand it. Christina's channel's almost at 500. Blessings through connections gained since we've been doing Fall Fest. Like at least 26 people. I just don't know what's going on with Blessed to Crochet, but we'll get there. We are going to get there because I am a very determined girl. I talked to somebody the other day and they said, yep, I picked that up really quick. You're very determined. Like, yep. Because I want it not only for me, but I want it to see this grow for everybody else because I know how important connection is. And it's kind of real frustrating that the computer just kind of stopped working. All it wants to do is flash the time button. That's it. Oh, my gravy. So I am literally only able to do this right now this way, which I'm glad I had it in place. You do what you have to do, right? Okay, now the thumbnail is up because I don't know what it was doing before. I don't know if anybody else experiences that, but I do. Yep. Mean for the computer? The computer won't even, all it does, we can't even get to the screen. My son-in-law, who's good with computers, said he thinks it is a CPU issue. So we've ordered whatever he told us to order so that, we can do it and he can fix it and everything. But we can't even get to the opening screen. It just literally goes on and what are you doing? It literally goes on and then it goes on And all it does is it just flashes on a black screen, the time's just flashing. And it won't go past that. He said he thinks the hard drive's still there. I mean, that computer was for nothing else than to be a computer for me to use to go live because the other computer couldn't handle it. So there's nothing on there that if I lose, I'm going to be worried about. I can all gain it back. Thankfully, I took all the devotions and I put them on Google Drives. So they're all there up to the point that I get caught up, but I can't even do devotions. But I thought, well, maybe I'll come out here and do some devotions a little bit and record them. Maybe not a bad idea. So, but unfortunately, hi Tiff, how are you? So there's still time to enter for Fall Fest. I am going to go back um, throughout my Fall Fest video and make sure I'm connected with everybody that's commented because we're not commenting on the Fall Fest videos just for everybody's kind of protection so that people don't get that we've won and then we're going to get it all confused. So we're not doing that. But I will make sure I'm connected. But please make sure that your subscription has not just fallen off. I mean, we've lost 15, and I don't know. Yeah, I've had it happen before. YouTube does clean house, and they do it and everything. I'm like, oh. Anyway, you know. And then I have to get it. I can't have it in my head that it's anything but YouTube doing its thing. Yeah, it sounds like a hard drive has gone down. Well, he said it's the CP. I don't know. He said order something, and then if it's not, I'll hand it over to him and say fix. But I've got to get on. See, we got it off of eBay. It's a rebuilt computer. We got it off of eBay, and it's worked great. But eBay is telling my husband it's still under warranty. Well, it's not. It's under warranty through eBay, so we have to fight them with that. He tried to fight it, and he couldn't. And I'm like, I'll deal with it next week. I couldn't deal with it this week. I've got time. So we'll see. It eventually, I mean, one way or the other, it's going to get fixed. Either what my son in law said will work, and if it doesn't, then we'll give it to him and let him fool around with it. He'll get it working again. I mean, the core of it, it's a good computer. Everything that's on that computer is something that I can gain back. Nothing on there is anything that I've kept that if the computer went, I can't gain back. So I'm not worried about it. I just cannot, because it's gone down. I can't record any devotions. I can't do any kind of voiceover on any things over Canva because I figured out how to voice over on Canva, which sounds so much better. If you listen to Christina's video, I'm like, I can voice over in Canva and it sounds so good through my microphone. So the microphone, when you turn the computer on, the microphone shows that it's on. And so I can't do any of that. The only way I can go live right now is the way we're doing it. That's it. Thankfully, I have that. I have my Chromebook, so I'm not dead in the water as far as getting stuff done and getting videos done and editing that and all that kind of stuff. I still can do all that. It's slower, but at least I have the Chromebook. I found out going live on a Chromebook is not really the easiest thing to do. It doesn't do well. But at least I can do Canva. I can go on Canva. I can, record or I can still do devotionals. I did that really cute video. Oh, guys, it's so cute. Some of the animals I found were just so cute. What I did was I found animals. I just want you all to think about this, and I'm going to start crocheting in a minute. I found animals that were dogs, and then dogs and cats, which are normal. I mean, those are normal friendships that happen because, you have those within a house environment. But then some of them I found were really just like oddballs, unusual friendships. And I'm like, we have friends in our everyday life that we meet in our community, and meeting them is done in most of the time in a normal way. And you'll meet somebody when you go work out or you at the grocery store or whatever, and you guys become friends or school or what have you. Well, this is kind of like putting those little oddball friendships that happen between maybe a cat and a duck is kind of like looking at how we kind of meet people on YouTube. It's not the normal way. It's not the way I thought I'd meet friends, but I have friends in Canada and Texas and California and Australia and all over the place because of this. And I thought, I've got to add these unusual friendships with unusual animals. And I got some really cute pictures. And then at the very end of the video is a picture of actually Christina, us dog Jordan, and my and our house, our family pet Abby, and it's the cutest thing in the world. And so it is so cute. And so we've got Abby, and we have Abby and Jordan, and they're on top. Like, we were able to get Abby kind of on top of Jordan, and it's really really cute. So was able to do that. So at the very end of it is actually that. I mean, Jordan knew, this big 100-pound black lab, that Abby was the boss. But um, he absolutely knew. He knew Abby was the boss, and that was going to be the boss, and he knew that. But it was, hi Moby, how are you? Welcome on in. You can put hashtag blessed if you like people to connect with your channel. So at the end of the video is actually like friends that were made. I mean, they weren't friends, but they kind of got along, and it's a really cute picture. But I hope you guys enjoy that. I had fun doing it. I'm having so much fun making the songs, and that's the song for our quote Monday, which talks about friends kind of being like fall leaves. And so anyway, and I've got to put out the fibromyalgia song, and I may wait on that because I wanted to kind of do a little bit more of I wanted to voice over in that video. So we'll see. But I needed a break from all that. I've been busy little girl. Been running Fall Fest playlists to make sure that I ran it all for all the channels that, needed to participate and that we entered in for. And so I've been busy little girl. I need a break. I need some crochet therapy. Need some connection therapy, and we'll get it all going. But I thought, I gotta put a long sleeve on. Oh, we were gonna check the weather. I remembered that. I remembered that. I finally slept last night. I could not go to sleep the night before for nothing. But I finally slept. I was tuckered. Tuckered. And tomorrow, I've got to make my pumpkin cake. My daughter, I love my daughter to pieces, but she's actually in New York right now, and she's never been, so that's nice. But anyway, she was so funny because, oh, thank you. And this is our other channel too. This is Blessings Through Connection. Thank you very much. And oh, that's the wrong thing. Mary, get with it. So anyway, and this is her other page before I forget. So anyway, she called me up because we're having what is it? We're having a luncheon tomorrow after church, or Sunday after church. She called me up and she's of course not going to be there. She goes, "Mom, can you make me my own little pumpkin cake?" I'm like, "No, don't work like that." She said, "Can you save me a piece then?" And I'm like, "Maybe." Usually when I make two of the pumpkin cakes, they don't last. I did do the pumpkin cake. It is on the channel. At least I think it is. I've got to put up Josh's ribs, but I want to wait till I can voice over that really nicely. Kind of frustrated about my computer, but it is what it is. Sure make what I'm doing right now a little easier, but I've got to run now. Remember, guys, we did that extra support wheel and freehand Lee Crochet made that won that for Blessing Through Connection, and Faith and Tackle for Blessed to Crochet, or Blessing Through Connection was Faith and Tackle, and then Free Handley was Free Crochet was Blessed to Crochet. So if you guys can go give us support to all the people that had shout outs this week in the recap, they're the same for both channels. And then go and just give a little extra support to the winners of the wheel. That'd be great. It's growing, guys. It's growing. We usually do a fair too, and I don't know if I'll be able to do it this year. I may choose not to do it. We'll see. So I thought I brought some stuff, and where they all went to, I have no idea. And so I looked in places I thought had it, and don't know what I did with all the stuff I need to crochet. When this Sunday, I'm going to finish that hat that I need to do so I can send Janet stuff out next week. But I need to crochet more soap caddies, and I just don't have time right now. I've got to sit down. As much as I don't, as I'm just sitting there, just going, I've got to get ahead. I'd love to be in the position of having songs and Bible verses and all the kind of stuff all done for the rest of the year. And then trying to get on some kind of schedule, because right now it's like all I'm doing is stuff for the channel, which is fun and I'm glad to do it. Just gotta, I want to get ahead a couple days. Hi, Jeanette. Jeanette, you must have known because I was talking about you. I started working on that hat that I wanted to include in there. I'm going to finish it up on Sunday, and then going to make you a soap caddy and put that all in a box and send out your box next week. I promise. It's one of the things on my to-do list. But I'm really trying hard to kind of get ahead so that I'm ahead with Bible verses and songs, and but I'm making myself, when it comes to the songs and the Bible verses, I don't go to bed now till the Bible verses for the next day are up on the thing. They just don't go out. I'd like to be able to get the quotes up for the rest of the time and get them done, and so I feel like I'm caught up versus always feeling like I'm behind. And I've got to get the devotions done, and But now with the computer, I may have to. Got devotions till July, but I thought what I'm going to do is try to spend the next week really, really pushing to get ahead with Bible verses and quotes and all that kind of stuff. And then that's amazing. It's awesome. I'm so glad you have that. And then that way I figured the last end of the half of the July or October, I'm going to just work on recording devotions. They may be out here, but they'll still be good. Still make it work. I can always put the Bible verse up and do it in Canva, and we'll make it work. Till the computer gets fixed. So how are you doing? You are always in my prayers. I know you struggle, but hopefully today is a better day. I think about you. And just make sure again, oh, well, that's good, hon. I'm so glad. Just make sure, everybody, that you're still connected with us. I'd really appreciate just taking that time. Make sure you have all your notifications on for Blessed to Crochet. Here's where we are with the blanket. It's growing. It's getting bigger. Got to untangle yarn. Yes. Thank you, Tiff. I appreciate it. And if anybody can go and, just watch a little bit if you've missed something, or can just run a playlist for us, I would just really appreciate it, because that'll help too. Um, I hope what we're doing is, meaningful to you all. I've decided that no matter what, we're going back to StreamYard next year. I really miss it, and I cannot get Streamlabs to work like I want it to, so we're just going to go back to StreamYard. The thing I'd use Streamlabs for is Christina's channel. Nuts. I just dropped my yarn on the floor. Unfortunately, it's a ball of yarn, so it may come this way. Because I've got to start doing her channel a little bit. Doing some, I can't even do any of that. I can't do any calming streams for Blessing Through Connection. Nothing. Until we get this whole thing solved with the computer. Okay, that's that. Maybe it won't be so bad, because it was really tangled. This blanket is being done for this channel. They're a channel that tries to help people that otherwise cannot go on cruises to be able to go on cruises. So they're trying to get to 500 so they can start getting monetized on that channel. But they're a nonprofit, helping hands for cruises. So my dad, he worked very hard his entire life. And all the revenue from Blessings Through Connection, or Blessed to Crochet, and when Blessings Through Connection gets monetized, goes to my mother. She worked very hard her life. She worked very hard to take care of my dad with the dementia. And so when we were doing this whole thing, and I said, Mom, what about me starting to go live on Blessed to Crochet? She said, sure, because we were just using it to show off our crochet. And I said, well, if we get monetized, didn't think we would even get there. I said to her, well, why don't you get the revenue for it? Hi, Ambi. Is that hopefully how I said it? Did I say it right? Ambi. Welcome on in. But there's where we're at. So we're doing this. You can put hashtag blessed if you'd like people to connect with your channel. So my dad was in pest control. He worked pest control his entire life, worked very hard in the Florida sun, and he actually had a rotator cuff issue and had to retire. But the 6 months prior to that, he was diagnosed with the onset of dementia, Lewy body dementia. And so he didn't really get a retirement. He didn't get to retire and take my mom on a trip and go places and enjoy any of that. He had the dementia and then he could not work anymore. And then things went downhill and so forth. So I'm doing this blanket for Helping Hands for Cruising in memory of my dad. Because my dad served in the Navy for 28 years, 6 months and 10 days. Like he said, who's really counting? And he loved lighthouses and so forth. So I'm doing this blanket for their auction coming up in November. And I had all of the yarn, and then we'll be donating it to their cause. And just again, if you're coming on in, please hit I know it's the subscribe button for Blessed to Crochet. Our YouTube has that, but we call it the connection button because to me, you're connecting with people. Then you're connecting with people and not just a channel. So we call it the connection button. Hey, Faith and Tackle, how you doing? Yes. So, yeah. So he couldn't do that. So we, you know, I remember, I'll never forget it. It's just something I'm just never going to forget. And my dad passed in 21, and he I had said I just said to the Lord, you've got to let him if he's going to forget somebody's name, have him forget my name first. Because my daughter was autistic. She was really having a struggle. Of course, autistic people do not like change. They do not handle it well. Hi, Crazy Crafter. How are you? Welcome on in. You can do hashtag blessed if you like people to connect with your channel. She's one of the participants too in the Fall Fest. So if you all haven't checked that out, here is the entire playlist for Fall Fest. Blessing Through Connection is our other channel. And so I just said to the Lord, have him forget my name first. And this is what we're working on right now. If I can get it past the seat. Yarn is connected. This is what we're working on. This is what we're working on. So, and so he did. He forgot my name first. Went over to the house and I looked at him and I said, "Hi, Dad." And he goes, "Hi, it's nice to meet you." And I said, he's forgotten it. I knew without a shadow of a doubt. I thought he's forgotten my name. And I said, Dad, do you know who I am? And he goes, No. I said, I'm your daughter, Mary. He goes, Okay. And that was it. And he never said my name again after that. He was done with it. Thank you very much. These are the blankets out of anything that I enjoy the most. And then, it just seemed like every day there was something else my dad couldn't do. And I went home and I burst into tears. I wish I had had some place like the communities that are built on YouTube to come, because I don't think my husband was home. I just went home, burst in tears, and he just never said my name again. He looked at me and I said, Hi, Dad. And he goes, I'm Chuck. It's nice to meet you. I said, Dad, I'm your daughter. He goes, You are? I was like, Oh, that's it. The one thing about Louis' body is that they get so stiff. That was the hardest thing too to watch, because he got really stiff. We had to actually like take his hands, because when you have the Louis body, and we didn't know it at the time, but he had his hands and they went like this. So we had to have these braces that would straighten out his hands to some degree, because otherwise his nails would dig into the bottom of his hands. And it took, we had to change out these braces. Oh my goodness. That was horrible. I think that was one of the worst things to have to do, because we'd all have to, somebody would have to be there to help him. The nurses would have to be there. And I just remember him just crying. My mom would have to try to give him some Tylenol before she did it. But oh, it was horrible. That was horrible. But we didn't realize what was happening with the Louis body, and the fact that he should have had the braces on like a long time ago. So it didn't happen, but we didn't realize what was happening. But oh, and he would just start, getting really upset and crying. That was horrible. I wouldn't wish dementia on anybody, or having to go through it and watching somebody you love. It's just so sad. But he's in heaven. He's in heaven with his mom and my aunt who passed in March, and he's in the arms of Jesus. And I want to do a video too, guys. But I want to do it on the computer. I gotta wait till the computer's up. And I've waited quite a little bit to release it or put it out there. But when my daughter was dating my her my son-in-law, her husband now, when she was dating him, the first date that they'd ever had, he was up in this area. We were in Cincinnati, and we met halfway. And I said to my husband, there's something about this guy, and I think I think this is the one it is, right? And I had I thought, this is going to be our son-in-law. I just had this gut feeling that this was the guy, and it ended up being. And so this was in February, and at the end of when we do our outro, when we're on the computer, I wish YouTube had the ability to do that before you went on. Maybe one of these times they'll have it on the mobile app. But anyway, they were walking, and it was February. It was a beautiful park, but it had snow and so forth. So you'll see a picture that I have, and I took it, didn't think anything of it, right? Got in the car, and I opened up the pictures that I had just gotten done taking of the sun coming through the trees. And I was standing there, because my dad had just passed about a month prior to this. I said, God, why? I'm thankful he's not here in pain, but why is he not here to see this most precious time in his only grandchild's life? I wish he was here to see this time that we as parents and my mom and dad as family thought may never happen because of her autism. Why is he not here to see this? And I got in the car and I sat down and I burst into tears. And Josh, who's my husband, looked at me and he goes, "What is wrong?" I said, "Josh, do you not see what's in this picture?" And it was this picture of the light coming through the trees, and there was a cross. There was a shape of a cross in the trees. And I said, "Okay, God, I get it. He's watching. He's got the best seat in the house." And so she got married. They dated. That was in 21 of August or February. And they dated and got engaged in September 21st of 2023. I may not get done crying yet. I'm trying not to. But I have to do this whole story when I do this video. So Christina had a picture of my dad when she was probably about 4 or 5 years old, standing at our house in Florida. I was divorced. I was a single parent. I married Josh in 2007, so he later became her dad and now legally is her dad. He adopted her a couple years ago as an adult. And so uh, we were standing at my parents' house. I living with my parents because they were helping me raise Christina. So I didn't have, I could give her as a steady environment as I could. Her biological father was not involved in anything via the way he wished to have it at the time, and that was fine. And so it's the sweetest picture of her standing. My dad's in his Navy uniform, and standing beside, he has my daughter's hand. She's looking up at him with her foot, you know, curled over a little bit. And she said that's her favorite picture for standing by the door with the back of my dad. He's looking at her, she's looking at him. It's just the sweetest little picture. Well, she said, "Mom, I want a picture of me in my wedding dress and have somebody do a picture with that, with Papu photoshopped in the picture of him standing by the door." So it was the Christmas of 23. And I found somebody to Photoshop a picture, take my dad out of that picture and put him in this picture standing, like they were holding hands in the picture with my daughter in her dress. And I was listening to, because I always do calendars. If you guys are looking for calendars or gifts, wonderful gift, and I'll do it for my grandchildren to come, is I do a calendar for Christina through Shutterfly every year. Everybody's birthdays in there. I'm able to put the pictures of everybody's birthdays, and its quality is awesome. What's great is she has every calendar that I've had, probably have done it for at least 10 years. And it's the last gift she opens, and she goes through, and I take pictures from the previous year and put them in for review and everything, pictures when she was young, and then I give it to her as a gift every year. And she says she doesn't mark on that calendar every year. And so I was working on this calendar, and I always say I'm going to start working on it early. And then I get to the very end and I do it like in the first week in December. It always happens. And so, anyway, so I went ahead and I found somebody and I sent them the picture and I said, "Okay, you have to send," and I asked them to do something with it. And they did, of course, and they're very good with it. And I was doing the calendar for Christina. And sure enough, as I'm working on this calendar of Christina's, I start listening. I'm a big Elvis Presley fan. And I was listening just to, get when I'm working on projects like this, there's TV going, there's music. I have dyslexia, so there's There's always something having to be. It's how my brain really works the best, is if something's on and moving. So I turned on Elvis's Aloha from Hawaii special on YouTube. So mind you, it's about 45 minutes in to the video before this song comes up. So we're messaging throughout this time back and forth on Messenger. She sends me this picture just at the Pacific time Elvis starts singing the Battle Hymn of the Republic. Well, when my dad passed away, I did a whole slideshow with all pictures of him with the song, the Battle Hymn of the Republic, because my dad loved that song. He loved it. He loved him singing it. He just, it was one of his favorites, top of uh, um, How Great Thou Art. So I did an entire thing of Battle Hymn of the Republic by Elvis singing it live on stage, right? And so I did that whole thing. And just as she sent this picture over, that song started playing. I had goosebumps up and down my arms. I was in tears because I thought, Dad, I really wish you could have been there. And it was just that extra reminder to say he had the best seat in the house. And it is the most sweetest picture that was photoshopped of her standing in her dress with him. Hopefully that just happened. Could everybody hear me? I don't know what happened. I had the mic on. I hope I haven't been on for that long time and there's no sound. That'll be gravy, right? Oh my goodness. Well, what part did you miss? Because I was going on and on with that story, and I don't know. Nuts. If I ever do that all and you all can't hear me, let me know if I'm talking. Hopefully, it was just now and not before. I hope this whole entire time it hasn't been that. Oh, goodness. Y'all are coming in. I'm really sorry about that. Okay. It may be time to charge my microphone. If it's turning off, then it may be time to charge it. But just let me know if you stop hearing me. You should hear me now, but if not, I'll just take my microphone out. Let me know if it stops again. I'm going to see if it stops and I need to charge my mic. I've been out here for a couple days. We're going to take it off right now. All right, you should be able to hear me now. Hopefully. Can you hear me now? I just had to take the mic off. Can you hear me now? I'll just take the mic off. I think it needs to be a charge tonight. Needs to go on the charger. But again, just check and make sure you're subscribed. Share us out. Help us get there. I can't do it by myself altogether. And if you're part of Fall Fest, if you've been watching Fall Fest, they are asking that everybody that has entered, please go back and watch a second video of theirs. Doesn't have to be long. Make that connection. One thing we've started doing is you're going to see both Blessings Through Connection and Blessed to Crochet's community tab be filled a lot because we're going in and sharing everybody's Fall Fest videos again and a secondary video of theirs. So we're trying. Look at who the shout outs are this week. Make sure you're connected to them. Make sure that you can check the persons that won the how did y'all like the wheel? Did you like the extra support wheel that we did for both channels? I got to put that in the Nightbot. The winner of the one for Blessed to Crochet was Freehand Crocheting, and the one for Blessings Through Connection was Faith and Tackle. So give them a little extra support. We're just asking that you will do that. We're going to take both of those channels and run some more content on both of the winners of the wheel. So hopefully everybody like that. Okay, good. That's awesome. Thank you. Look at that beautiful sky tonight, guys. Oh, that's my dad shining down. That's my dad and my aunt. There's a little bit of pink in there. God is good, isn't he? You can see the fall leaves. It's thinning out. There's a tree behind those trees back there that's turning. Making my pumpkin cake. And then doing all the things this weekend. I'm trying to get caught up and everything. At least I'm trying. I need to start. I have a very hard time releasing control because I want everything to be perfect, but I've got to sit with Mom and have her help me. I think that's what I'm going to start trying to do, because if not, I'm going to get overwhelmed. Well, I've been trying to do them about 5:30. Tomorrow we're going to come out Blessing Through Connection, which is our other channel that we're on. We're going to start doing that. We're going to have to do it on here for a little bit until we get the computer fixed. But then I deal with fibromyalgia on a daily basis, so I do what I can. I'm going to sit and start scheduling lives. But because I'm finding out this is really, really working for me to do stuff that I need to for the channel, and then allowing myself to come out and enjoy connecting with you all and crocheting, which is kind of like a break. And so I'm giving myself that kind of reward for a job well done, I guess you could say. So I've been trying to do them about 5:30. We're coming out a little bit earlier because it's getting light a little bit earlier. And so that you guys can really enjoy the fall leaves, this beautiful sunsets that are happening behind here, the fountain. And we want to give you time to grow and connect with people, whether it's just getting friendships, connecting with other amazing communities. And that's why we're trying to do this. Plus, we're trying to grow this blanket as we're growing our community. And so we're really trying to make all that happen. So we're going to be tomorrow. I've set it up for 5:30 again. I thought maybe I would start trying to do, I don't quite know what I'm doing on Sundays anymore, because I used to come live Sunday on the way to church. And I'm thinking I may just come out here on Sundays, and come out here for a little bit longer and crochet. I don't know. We're not getting the reception on the way to church. I was going to try to put the video on the way to church so that I want you all to see the fall leaves and do a premiere. I don't know quite how I'm doing that. I don't think I'm going to put up the video for tomorrow. I don't know what I'll do yet. I may go ahead and do it. Well, I grew up Presbyterian, And then when we moved up to Cincinnati, I was born in Florida, raised in Florida my entire life, and I met my husband through if y'all remember, what is it? AOL. At AOL, there was Friends First Chat. And we met there back in 97. Well, I met him. We tried that long distance dating. It didn't work at the time. And that's where I met my daughter's biological father. And we ended up getting married, him and I, and then had Christina, and then got divorced, and he went on his merry way. And so I just was busy mama working. I lived with my parents to help them out. They were helping me out. I was raising my daughter, who is high functioning autistic. And then my husband now, he called me up, and when we talked and when we sent emails back and forth, he would always end with a rose, computerized digital rose thing. And I said to him, he emailed me and he said, it's been a while since we've talked, because we were like really good friends. We became like really, really good friends. We had so much in common. And he said, how are things going? He ended it with a rose. Thumbs up. So then I called him and I said, hey, Josh, what's happening? And so forth. And he talked for about a half an hour. And I said, Josh, I know you so well. What's going on? And he said, he at that point was divorced. He said, I've never stopped loving you. You're my first love. And he said, if I move down to Florida, will you go out with me? And I said, yeah, come down to Florida, of course I will. We'll try it. So he came down to Florida from Ohio, and he came down in December of 2005. We started dating pretty soon after that. We got married in 2007 in July, and we lived in Florida because he just said, I'm not taking my daughter, your daughter, which was his stepdaughter, but he considered it his daughter from day one, away from your parents. I don't want, and your grandmother. So we stayed in Florida until 2018, 19, and my grandmother had passed away in 2018. And we just said, there's nobody in Florida except for my aunt that has passed in March. There's nobody in Florida that really is going to be there for me, for Mary, Christina. I'm an only child, so there wasn't really going to be anybody. We didn't have a lot of family in Florida. But Josh's grandmother had 6 kids. She has like over 30 grandchildren, 33 great-grandchildren, their families and everything. And so my sister-in-law was in Cincinnati. She was married at the time with 4 children now. And so we thought, if anything happened to myself or, any one of us, and Christina needed support, that would be the perfect person to help us, because we didn't think Christina was going to wind up getting married. So we moved that time my dad was still there. We moved, myself, my husband, we've been married 18 years now, and my mom, my dad, and Christina's service dog at the time, who passed in 2019, up to Ohio, into Cincinnati. And we found a house pretty close to where my sister-in-law actually lived at the time. And we were going to stay there. We figured this way, his family in Indiana, we can get to that family in about an hour and a half. We can get to, his mom, be there for his mom. His grandmother's still living, so we can do all that kind of stuff. And then that way, if anything happened to any one of us or all of us, my sister-in-law could help with my daughter. So she had family. They have a great relationship. And my husband is almost going to be 50 soon, or 49. But his sister's in her 20s. So there's a huge age gap between his 2 other siblings. And so we thought, this is great. They'll start building a relationship and so forth. Well, she got on eHarmony. Hi, Diamond in the Sticks. Welcome on in. She got it on eHarmony and found somebody up here in this area. We're about half an hour, or about an hour and a half away from Columbus, hour and a half away from Cleveland, and we're about 2.5 hours fast way to Cincinnati. So, because my daughter's an only child, I said, if she moves up here, guess what? We're moving up here. And so we moved up here. She got married to her husband in 22 of August. And where we moved to was actually, believe it or not, if you want to believe in full circle, right? My grandmother grew up in Aberdeen, Scotland. And my mother was born in Aberdeen, Scotland, and then came over to this country when she was 4 months old. My grandfather was Greek. He lived in the United States in the same town where we are living now. We're about an hour from my daughter. We can get to her pretty quickly. And so my mother and my grandmother came over to, my mother came over to this country when she was 4 months old with my grandmother. Because when my grandfather was serving over in Scotland, that's where he met my grandmother. And yes, it is. That's where he met my grandmother, and they got married and they had my mom. So we used to come up to this little town where we're now living in. When my mother would come up, especially in my teenager years, her namesake, her godmother, my namesake, her godmother used to live here. I always used to feel like this was home. I always loved Ohio. I love the Amish country. We can get to the Amish country in about 45 minutes. Beautiful, beautiful, area. And so I always felt like I was home. And so that's, but when we came up, we had been in Presbyterian church for years. And when we came up here, there was not a certain kind of the Presbyterian, which is, there's Presbyterian, but there's like the USA and all this kind of stuff. There's a Pacific one that we'd like to go to. And they didn't have one close, so we went over to a Baptist church. And so right now we go to a Baptist church, and it's the same church my son-in-law and my daughter go to. And he actually runs he actually runs the soundboard there. Well, this is a community we live in. I hope to eventually own a house again one day, for my mom to be able to own a house. But they're like apartments, but they're like house apartments, because my mother is almost 80. Any revenue we get from this channel goes to her, and it helps her with any kind of bills or any kind of expenses. I just need the connection, and I'm happy to help her. But we need a place with 2 bathrooms, which is Taz, and something that's all kind of one level, because she has bad knees. My husband has some disabilities, and so do I. So we live in the same little town. My mom grew up about 10 minutes from where we live. And thank you very much. I appreciate that. Well, that's awesome. You know what? And I want y'all to pay a lot of attention to the song that's going to come out tonight. Because I really put a lot of thought. What we're starting to do, just so people know, is we are doing Suno songs. And this is, we're growing. The lighthouse is growing. These are my favorite blankets to do, hands down. I don't make these blankets go anything else. I don't know what it is. These I stay on track with, number one. You know why, I think, too? Because it's This is more like a crochet or like a cross stitch pattern, but in crochet. I really thought about the song. What we're doing with the Suno songs, just so everybody knows, is every Bible verse that we're doing, we put up, we are making a song. We're going into Chat GPT and say, okay, make a poem out of this song, or make a poem out of this verse. It makes a poem, and then we're saying, okay, make a song out of it for us. And each verse has a song. So that song is inspired by the verse that we're putting into it. We're also doing the same exact thing for our quotes. We're going into Chat GPT and saying, make us a song, make us a poem, and then go ahead and make us a song. I made a fibromyalgia warrior song that I'm going to put out. We're also doing that for our jokes. I have a cute joke about a pumpkin and a penguin. And the cutest song that came out with it, we did one for the I'm Vine song. That was a cute joke. We're doing that too as well. So we're trying to make our own songs when it comes to it. And what I'm finding out is I'm very visual. And that's why we do pictures with our devotions as far as what kind of putting with something with it. Not only that, I'm really remembering the verses because I've got a song with it. I have attached a song and it's really helping. So, one bathroom house is painful for people with stomach problems. Yes. And I agree. Well, my mother is older and we just need to have 2 bathrooms. And I'll tell you, it's hard in Ohio especially. So a lot of the homes have 1 bathroom and they're not on 1 floor. So, I mean, quite frankly, I wish these places were little condos because we would be happy to stay here for the foreseeable future. It's a great place. I crochet, but nothing as pretty as you. Well, thank you. Everybody has their own skill sets when it comes. We're going to start doing our own patterns with these blankets. This is not mine. I will put it in the description. These are a lot easier to do than people think they are. Yeah, a lot easier to do than what people think. They're not as difficult. I thought they would be at first, but I thought, hi Barbara, how are you? Put hashtag blessed in the chat if you'd like people to connect with your channel. So when I was doing the song for tonight, I hope you all enjoy this. Went out to members first and it'll be released out at 8 o'clock tonight. It's not 8 o'clock yet. But I tried to put animals, I was talking about at the very beginning, animals in there that are normal, like dogs are friendly with each other, right? And then you got dogs that are friendly with each other. But then I tried to pick up animals that weren't necessarily like were odd ducks with each other, right? Like a cat with a duck and an elephant with a dog. Just odd ones, because meeting people at the store are pretty regular, or meeting them at school, or meeting them here and there. But we meet so many not unusual people, but meeting them through this, we're building our community, meeting them through the community we have here. We're trying to build a community. We're not trying to build numbers, guys, even though I know I want to get to 2K. That's a dream. I want to get there, but we're just trying to get to build community for you guys. Have people to lean on, have people to come in and talk with, have support. Life is hard. And so I thought I got to put some unusual matchups together within that video, because this is an unusual space. You wouldn't think I can meet some amazing people, but boy, have I met some amazing people. And I'm an only child, but I got sisters and brothers, I can tell you that. I've got sisters and brothers. This is what I'm making, and it's growing. You can see the lighthouse. See the lighthouse taking shape right there on the one side. That's the house part of it, right? And of course you got, these are the, using the bobble stitch. And you got the waves. So this is getting done for this. It is, it's tough. And I never thought of YouTube as a place to do that. I always sat and thought YouTube was going to be a place for me to watch videos, right? For me to learn things. No, I found through different channels, I met community, and I had somebody in 23, she's like a sister to me, I got several of them, and she's over in Australia, and she was there for me when my aunt in 23 was diagnosed with cancer. We had another family member that chose that they didn't want to no longer talk to us. And then we had my dad passed in January 1st, 2021. So January 1st is hard for me. My grandfather passed in 97 on December 31st, so that's a day that's hard for me. And this friend came beside me and just helped me through a very difficult time because the time zone was so different. In the middle of the night, she was awake, you know, so I could call and talk to her, and I called and talked to her for a couple hours, and then I could go back to sleep because I was actually having panic attacks in my sleep. Those were fun. And then I could get on the phone, talk to her for an hour or two, and then go back to sleep and sleep. So she was she still is. One of these days she's planning to come to the States, so I'm going to give her a big hug. I have another friend of mine, this is her channel. And she is a sister of mine too as well. And she is, I gotta see where I am now. She has a son who's autistic. He's my nephew. And if she needs something, she knows she can call me up and we'll talk. And you know what? Look at that sunset, guys. It's happening. Oh, isn't that just beautiful? It's gorgeous. That is absolutely beautiful. What a night for it. And so, you know, if she needs to talk, she can call me up. And guess what? I've raised an autistic child. I know what she's going through. I know if she's struggling. She's called me up and just in tears. And I'm like, I got you, sis. So that's why I picked that quote, because, you know, I just love the friends. Can't remember, friends are like fall. It's really cool. I loved it. Something's not right. Something's not great. Hold on a second. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 18, 19, 20. Well, it's still not right. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. 4 to 5 to 6 to 7 to 8 to 9, 30 to 1 to 2 to 3 to 4 to 5 to 6 to 7 to 8 to 9, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45 to 6 to 7 to 8 to 9, 50 to 1 to 2 to 3 to 4 to 5 to 6 to 7 to 8, 59, 60, 61, 62, 63, 64. That's correct. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. That's correct, but it's not adding up right. Maybe it's changed over to 21 and I didn't realize it. Yep, it was 21. That's why. Look, wait a minute. Wait a minute. There's a mistake. Hi, Jason P. Hi, brother. How you doing? You could put exclamation point crafty. She has an amazing channel. And this is better half. That will take you to her channel. I love it though. Dancing shorts, it sounds like fun. My aunt had stage 4 liver and lung cancer. So. And I know Jason's wife has dealt with cancer, so it's, you know, that's why you gotta be here for each other. Because when we're going through that, you know, it's hard. We gotta be here to support each other when we're going through this stuff. It's 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. It's hard. And I don't think anybody should have to go through it, whether it's dealing with a parent or... All right, well, thank you for stopping in, Ambi. Come back again, I hope you will. It was fun to have you. Thank you so much for participating in tonight. I love it. The sunset is gorgeous. The chat's hopping. I am a happy, happy girl. That's for sure. Happy, 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 happy. How you doing, bro? Hanging in there? I see Crafty go on, and I thought I need to stop in and say hi. But by the time, I've been so busy trying to get caught up, and then I've been going to sleep, and just been like at 10 o'clock. It's like I have to go to sleep. I've got to go lay down. Trying not to take a nap in the afternoon. Sometimes I have to, but trying not to. But then I go to sleep and I just crash. You know what I used to tell my daughter? You have a disability, but you know, don't turn your disability. You don't turn your, disability. No, that's not it. You have an ability, but don't turn that into a disability. Oh my goodness, I'm cooking spaghetti and meatballs. I'll be right over. That's awesome. I'm blessed too. I think of all the people. I'm never going back to a world without connection. You know, when you're trying to raise a special needs child, you don't often get out connecting much because, you know, you're too busy taking care of that kid. It was exhausting. I love Christina, but she was an exhausting kid to take care of. One of these days I'll do. But I love her. I wouldn't change anything to not have her, that's for sure. But again, I'd appreciate anybody, anybody that can. I don't know if Crafty would do it for me, but anybody that would be willing to share us out. We are so close to 2K. We're like 60 away from 2K. 61 and it's going dee. I don't know what's happening, but I'd appreciate it. I really want to get there by the end of the year. I really want to get there. And I just find out coming out here. Hi, Zachary. How you doing? Welcome on in. Thank you, Diamond. I appreciate it. Just make sure that you're still subscribed, because I don't know. I've stopped trying to figure out YouTube. YouTube sits there and doesn't know. I don't think YouTube knows what it's doing. We put hashtag blessed in the chat if you'd like people to connect with your channel. That sunset. Oh, that was a gorgeous sunset. Oh, just beautiful. But I think this is working out well for me because I'm still getting crocheting in, but I'm making myself kind of say, okay, you can crochet, but you got to do some stuff first. Go back in the house and do some more stuff. I'm trying to go back to all the videos that we entered in for Fall Fest and watch a secondary video like Gail's asked us to do. And then I'm trying to do all that. Been running the playlist for that, and tomorrow I need to run a playlist. I'll probably run it overnight for the 2 people that won the extra support wheel. I'll run them. Even if it's on a different channel, it'll be fine. I'll get the extra support. Do you frame? Do you have a time frame? Allowing people to hit names, look up, correct. Modding people. Yeah, we do that on Blessings Through Connection. We don't do it here. We give you guys the ability to drop your link. We've added that because to us, that's our crochet hook. When you come in to Blessings Through Connection, which is our other channel, which we will be on tomorrow as well, that one we make everybody a mod in. And you guys can come in here, there, and connect with each other. So, that one we do. But we thought about it, and then we said, you know what? We're asking people to connect. But what I didn't want to happen is, I didn't want people to come in the chat and just drop their link and run, because that's not going to grow your channel. You connecting with people in the chat is what's going to grow your channel. So if you come into a chat and just drop your link and say hi and leave, it's not going to do anything. It actually hurts the content creator. And we had that happen where we'd have our mods drop the link. Yeah. We had the mods drop the links when people would come in, but then they would just leave. And it absolutely killed the chat. I mean, it just was like it absolutely killed the chat. And so we stopped doing that. We just made it so that people had the ability to, drop their link with the hashtag blessed. That's your guys' crochet hook. And then this way people get to connect. They're using their crochet hook. We're helping you grow. But we do that on Blessings Through Connection, and we'll continue to do it over there. We make you guys a mod. And the reason why we want to continue it over there is because this channel has recipes, we have songs, my daughter sings, we have so many different things on this channel. The other channels are very focused. And we wanted people to come in, even if they came in and go, oh, I've already connected with Diamond in the Sticks, right? We'll go over there and watch a 3-minute video. Watch a couple shorts of theirs. Support them a little bit. Come back to the chat. You know, maybe you connected with somebody new, connect the correct way. Then maybe someone else comes in, you're already connected, go over there and support it. We wanted that chat to flow that way, where we knew that even if people came in that were already connected, they still, if they were a moderator, could go back and forth between the channels and, you know, get connected with each other. I've been on live now 12 times. I make everyone a mod that I trust, but I've not added. Yeah. I added no more. I've not added no way of rising my channel yet because I don't know how. Well, best thing I can tell you is get into Tuber Chat. Here's several different places. Tuber Chat, which I think you're already in. Foodie is another one. Crafty is another one. And then also, Are You Locked In? That's another great support system when he goes live. And Blessings Through Connection. So the one that I'm working on right now, connect with that. And then I think I've given you a shout out one time. And, you know, the best thing I could tell you to do is just keep making those connections. Yeah. Those are three that for sure, hands down, that is so, just keep making those connections. Put your footprint in. I don't do any advertising. I guess I could, but you know, I know Butler Family Farm has done some kind of advertising. But what I'm afraid to do, even though I don't really have the resources to do, don't give up, to spend money on advertising. What I'm afraid is going to happen is when I stop advertising. You know, if I did like a brief little advertising, what I'm afraid is going to happen is the minute I stop, like if I run it for 2 weeks and I stop it, what's going to happen? Then YouTube's going to say, okay, give us some more money and we'll push your thing out. It may help. I know they've gotten to it, very brief times where they've done it, but I'm kind of a little hesitant to try it. And then, oh, yep, that's what I do too. Yeah, I just kind of am a little apprehensive to try it because I'm afraid it's going to go, okay, well, you stopped giving us advertising money, so now, you know, I don't know. That's what my fear is. I know it'll happen. It's just gonna take some time. Don't give up. Don't give up. Best piece of advice. And have people around you that are in this space that are doing this, because yep, that's what I try to do. Because, you know, people that are not doing this don't quite understand. I mean, like for instance, when we did Fall Fest we put out on the 29th. We got to 1954. And slowly but surely, then it went down to 1954 or 1944 and 1946 and 1947 and 1949. Now that we're back to 1939, and I'm like, wait a minute, what's happening? You know, and it's frustrating because it's like, no, we're not supposed to go down in that direction. We've had this channel because originally this channel was only supposed to show off our crochet. Because my thing was, I said to my mom, listen, I was crocheting blankets. I was doing a lot for people that were getting married and so forth. And I said, well, I'll do the crochet. Mom, if you get the extra part, I'll just give me the money to go get the yarn. That's what I was doing. Let's just do the crochet, and this way we can show off all the blankets we've done, and things we've done and projects we've done and so forth. That was the initial part, because then I could send people that were interested in blankets over to actually see them through just a little thing I put up. But then it was in 23, and I was going through empty nest syndrome because Christina had just gotten married. So that was in 22, and then in 23, January, I said, well, you know what? I'm going to hit the live button because somebody encouraged me to just hit that button. That was January 13th of 2023. We got monetized, and we got partially monetized in August when my aunt was here, and then we got fully monetized in October. And so it's almost been a year since our full monetization. So, we're just looking to get, can maintain those watch hours. If anybody wants to watch any of our playlists or any of our stuff that they haven't watched and put it on, we would be grateful. That would mean a lot. But I'm not stopping. I'm a very persistent girl. I'm not going to stop. I'm not going to quit. I'm not going to give up. And I think the biggest hurt was actually getting off and going off of StreamYard. Because I went down to Streamlabs because StreamYard was too expensive. But I've not been able to do collaborations like I used to. And the way I was able to do it, because StreamYard is just so complicated to do it on. And so, or Streamlabs. And so I'm going back to StreamYard next year. Hopefully I can do that. I didn't like any of the other alternatives. I don't like Restream. I like StreamYard the best. And I want to do some more collaborations, and so that's the plan. But I'm not stopping. I'm a very persistent girl. My friend has gone viral 3 times now. She has 1,000 subs, but not the watch hour. She only had her channel for a few months. She went viral around her though. I have StreamYard. I put it back. StreamYard isn't good. So many locals here have trouble with it. It's costly, yes. My friend does Restream and is doing better with it. Yeah, I don't like StreamYard. I don't like Restream, but I'm just gonna go back to StreamYard. But right now I can't do anything because my computer said, we're gonna shut down for a little bit till I can figure that whole thing out. Anyway, that's a whole nother story. But I'm not stopping. I'm not giving up. So this is where we're at. We're going up the chain, getting the lighthouse. It's growing. I've tried to really stop doing it outside of here because I want you to see me grow it when I'm doing this, that you can see it growing while we're doing this. So it's kind of like, well, if I work on it, then I'll grow it. But it's growing. We are growing. And this is what I try to tell people. We do, if anybody's interested, I'm doing a custom blanket for someone, Indigo. I'm doing one. She wants a custom blanket. And we will do custom blankets. I just say to them, my mom gets the revenue for it. I just go out and buy the yarn and I'm happy with it. I'm happy to have the yarn to do it because yarn can be expensive. But I just try to tell people, just think about it. If you're going to get married, or if you have a son or daughter that's going to get married, think as a parent or a grandparent or an aunt and uncle. Maybe the two sets of parents come together and have somebody like myself do a blanket. We could do a blanket with a monogram on it and the date that they were married and a beautiful blanket. Think about doing a blanket because it's going to mean a lot more. It's going to last a lot longer than getting a toaster oven or whatever it is, right? It's going to be something that they can say this came from both sets of grandparents. We usually charge about $250, between $200 to $250. They're probably worth a lot more than that, but we don't charge that. Probably more like $400 or $500. We don't charge that much. And oh my goodness, what is her channel name? Because I'll connect with her. But anyway, so I just said, just think about doing a blanket for if it's a son or a daughter, and have the grandparents do a blanket. Hillbilly crime. I'll have to look it up. Do the two, have the grandparents each take, $100 and have somebody like me do a blanket like that. Or find somebody that's willing to do a blanket for about $100. Or, $200 or $250. Take $125 and make a blanket. Right? Or if it's aunts and uncles, and maybe there's 3 or 4 sets of aunts and uncles, split it in 3 or 4 ways and do a blanket, right? Maybe spend $60 and it all comes together and it comes from the aunts and uncles. Or the 2 sets of parents. Have them come together and do a blanket and give it to them. I did a blanket for my daughter's mother-in-law. She loves tea, and I'm going to do a short with all of the blankets we've done. I figured out since 23 I've done 18 of these types of blankets. They're my favorite, hands down, to do. They're the ones I get the most, and they're the ones who come out the best. And C to C, I like doing that. And oh wow, Jet Country for all hillbillies. Wow, that's a lot. I have a friend of mine who's gotten he's halfway to 1 million subs. And so it's a great idea for a gift. And so I went ahead and did a blanket for her mother-in-law, just to say thank you. She loves tea. I'm going to do the same one for my mother. Here's the thing. One of these days, I figured out my grandchildren will be over at, my daughter's mother-in-law's house. Maybe we'll sit on the couch with that blanket curled up reading a book. And her mother-in-law could say to that little grandchild, I'm going to be called Yaya whenever it happens. Your Yaya made this for me. And then one of these days, way down the road, that blanket may go to one of Christina's children. And it will have been given to her by her grandchildren, it's given to her by her daughter-in-law, their mother, and be made by, their mother's grandmother, which is me, and enjoyed and cherished by, the mother-in-law, their other grandmother. So it comes down generational. And I think that, maybe being able to take a blanket and do something like that and saying, I'm going to do something that's really personal from someone within, they're getting married or they're having a baby. I think it just means so much more. Yes. Yeah. Oh, I love Ryan Hall. I think he has a great channel. So anyway, the sun has set. It was a beautiful, spectacular sunset. The chat was going. I love to see it, y'all. Thank you so much. You have made my night. And yes, he does. I'll have to look that. I'll have to look that one up too. So I'm gonna get inside. It's what time? I'm trying to pay attention to the time so I know. It's getting lighter every night. So it's 7:30. So right now we're going down about 7:30 every night. So we'll be out here tomorrow at 5:30. We'll try to be out here too for Blessings Through Connection. Sometime maybe we'll come out probably about 1 o'clock and stay out here for about 2 hours. I'll go back inside for a couple hours and then come back in. So we're Eastern. So we'll see you all tomorrow. And I don't quite know what I'm going to do about Sundays yet. I may start coming out here Sunday night because it would be a great break to do. I like to try to take Sunday off, but we may see. But thank you all. Please make sure you're subscribed or connected with us. As I say, we're hitting that connection button, not necessarily the subscribe button. Please remember, to just make sure you're connected. Maybe go watch some things from us that you haven't watched before. And we're going to grow this. We're not stopping. This girl ain't quitting. No matter what, she ain't quitting. I have every intention to grow it because it is so important. And I hope everybody has a great evening. If for some reason I do not go live on Sunday. Now, Sunday's a big day because we also have the mission conference at church. If for some reason I do not go live, then I may come out on Sunday evening and just sit here with y'all and enjoy that. I don't know if I'm going to do that yet, but we may. We'll try to go to Mount Gees this week, which is a beautiful view. Maybe I'll take my crochet out there. And we have wonderful reception out there too as well. But we may go out there, take my crochet, and see about doing something from there, and taking the rocking chair on a road trip or something. We'll see. We're definitely going to be heading down to the Amish country because I have to pick up the boxes because we're going to be doing the shoe boxes. We did 2 last year. We want to grow and do 2 more or 4 more this year. So we're going to be doing that pretty soon here. But we've got to go down to the Amish country and pick up the boxes. So we'll certainly do that. So anyway, I'm going to head out here. And when we get to 2K, guys, we're going to party. That is for sure. We're going to party. So thank you for joining us. Maybe tomorrow we'll have another spectacular sunset. So I love y'all. Remember to be proud of being yourself. Everybody else is taken. Keep crocheting that connection. No crochet hook is required. And remember, we have you covered. You certainly had us covered tonight. Thank you so much for having us covered. We'll see you later. God bless and take care. And bye-bye for now.